So this is actually part 3 of growing up with 14 siblings, which I guess is becoming a thing. I don't really know. None of that really matters. But there were some questions, and I want to answer those questions. But before I get to that, I'm going to say this. This isn't one of those things where I come on here and trash my family. If you're looking for that, you clicked on the wrong video. I'm just sharing what it's like to grow up with a family that size. So a question that was asked is, how do you feel seen and loved with a family that size? Well, I'll say this. I believe I have some incredible parents. But one of the things I can say is I did not give my mom enough credit growing up. And it's crazy to think about that. And the same thing could be said for my dad, but I know I did not give my mom enough credit for the amazing mother that she is and that she was when we were growing up. To answer the question, when I think about feeling loved, there was never a time in my life when I didn't feel love from my parents or even from my siblings. There's never been a time where I've ever felt that. But I don't want to speak for my siblings when I say this part. There are a lot of times I didn't feel seen. The reason for that is, with a family that size, it's hard for you to get that attention from your parents or even your siblings for that matter. It's just difficult. There's so many people. But I noticed something one day. What I used to do in my alone time was read, write, and draw. Side note, my mom is the GOAT at school projects, but I don't want to get off on a tangent. I just wanted to add that note. I used to read, write, and draw in my alone time. But in addition to that, I used to watch a lot of TV and learn all the commercials. And then I used to sit in front of the TV and just recite the commercials for whatever reason. And then one day my mom notices this. And before I knew it, whenever she would have people over, it became like a party trick. And in my mind, something clicked. I'm like, oh, wait, they see me. And I think that's when I found my voice. That's when I learned to be vocal. That's when I learned, if you are in the midst of all of these people, you have to say something. And I used to be really quiet. I can't say that anymore. I'm not quiet anymore, but it became part of that thing that I couldn't put words to at that point. But I know that was part of that transition for me in terms of being able to use my voice to move people and for people to understand what I was feeling and the emotions that I felt. But I will say this, I was the kid. I was always the kid who was gonna be okay. And that part kind of unraveled when I got older, but that's a conversation for another day.